Hello, hello, everyone, and welcome to Love Chat with the Love Twins. I'm Gladys Diaz. I'm so happy to be here with you today. And more importantly, I'm so happy that we have this topic because I I often get questions about why aren't things moving forward? Why does it feel like everybody else is in a relationship and not me? How come I can be, so successful at work, but I feel like when it comes to my love life, I'm feeling stuck. So today is all about you don't need more motivation, right? Motivation comes from outside of you. What you need is movement. And I'll say even more than movement, it's momentum. Momentum is going to increase your magnetism. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Hello to the ladies who are already leaving me some messages over here. When you see me look to the side, I'm looking at the comments so that I can feel connected to all of you. And yeah, so let's go ahead and jump on in. So first of all, if you have ever caught yourself saying something like, I just need to feel ready before I start dating again. I just need to work on myself. I need to feel ready before I put my profile up. I'm getting ready to get ready to get ready. Something in that area. Go ahead and put the letter R in the chat just so that I can see that you're there and this is resonating. It's about feeling like you have to feel ready to take a step, especially when it comes to love and relationships. So that could be putting your profile up, starting to date again, even telling people that you are open to meeting someone. So I see a few R's here in the chat. And if you're here, first of all, say hello, like some of the ladies said, and then please participate. Nothing makes this more awkward than me feeling like I'm talking to myself. Okay. So because otherwise I could just do a pre-recorded video, right? This is about really engaging with you, interacting with you, and getting your real time questions, comments, so that we can really speak into what it is that is meaningful for you, whatever it is that you're facing when it comes to love, dating, and relationships. Michelle and I want to be that bridge between where you are now and where you would love to be. So thank you for those of you who are putting your comments in the chat. I promise I will be looking over and interacting with you. And the reason I wanted to ask that question is that you're not alone. First of all, you got to know that you are not alone. I see somebody saying, "Hey, I'm here from coming in from Canada. Nice to see you, Valley." Whatever age bracket you're in, whatever your I call it your relational experience has been, whether you've been in relationships before, whether you've been married or not married. There are challenges. There are challenges. And what makes a challenge easier to move through is when you know what to do and what not to do. So that's what the love chats are all about. So the first thing I'll say about this getting ready to get ready, right? Getting ready to feel ready, to open my heart, to start exploring dating, to get out there and start meeting new people, is that all of that is happening up here. All of those thoughts are happening up here. The thing is that love isn't a logic game. You're not ever going to think yourself into a happy, loving, intimate, connected relationship. You're just not. Love is not logic. Love is a heart experience. Now, does that mean that we're going to be all willy-nilly and not know what we're doing? No, I just said what makes a difference is knowing what to do and what not to do, but you've also got to connect to your heart. And so if you're going to keep waiting to think that you're feeling ready to get started or waiting to feel motivated, you're actually going to be stopping yourself. You're creating a block or a barrier. We often talk here about love barriers. That's one of them. Overthinking is a sign of not trusting yourself. So today we're going to unpack why waiting to feel ready can quietly keep you single and stuck, and what to do instead so that you're creating movement and momentum that actually magnetizes up. So I'm going to be talking about magnetic momentum. You can write that down if you're taking notes. It's so great to see some of you who were not here before joining us. Hello, everyone. All right. So magnetic momentum. Everybody write that down in your notes because that's what we're going to be talking about. Okay. So here's the thing. A lot of times women are waiting to feel motivated before they do something, but motivation doesn't come first. Motivation comes once you start moving. It comes after movement gets started. So that's why I keep talking about momentum. If you have, I mean, this is just physics, and I'm not a science gal unless it comes to the brain and how that works. But if an object that's at rest, it takes a lot more momentum to make it move than an object that's already moving, right? Because then I can add this force to this force, and now I'm creating forward movement. So if you keep waiting to be motivated, it's actually going to take you more time and more effort than if you just take that first step. So what happens is that you're wanting to wait until you feel motivated, but motivation comes once you start. That momentum, that forward movement comes once you start taking that very first step. And this is not Gladys making stuff up. Like I said, I'm not a science guy unless you're talking about brain research and how the brain works. And this is actually research that was done at Stanford about how the brain works in terms of moving forward. So high achieving women are many times are trained to think first, plan second, and act last. And that's a great structure for work, right? And moving forward in our careers. It's not always the best formula when it comes to love. You're not going to think yourself into being ready. You're just not. You're going to have to feel, and you're going to have to come down into your heart, and you're going to have to look to see what is it that's actually scaring me about taking that first step. See, that's a fear. And while it's in the subconscious of your mind, it's also in your body. So there's something that's making you afraid. And for highly successful, highly driven women, high achieving women, it's many times, it's what's a fear that you have? Go ahead and put it in the chat. Before I say it, hurry, type fast, because I know there's a little bit of delay. What do you think is one of the things that stops you from taking the first step? What would be a fear or a concern that you have that would stop you from doing that? Let me see who's going to be my partner here in creating some movement and momentum over here in the chat. I won't be able to attract what I want, right? That's one of the fears that I'm afraid that if I take that first step, I'm not going to be able to attract what I want. I'm afraid of losing my freedom. That's another one that got put in the chat. Anybody else willing to be open and a partner in love over here so that we can remember the women who are watching the replay aren't going to see these comments. That's why I read them. Feel that I can't find anyone that interests me. So if I were to put these these responses under an umbrella, it would be the fear of it not working out. Just those of you who wrote your comments, right? There's something here about it not working out. So another way we could refer to that is the fear of failure. It's a fear of failure. But here's the thing. Motivation isn't a prerequisite for love. It's a byproduct of momentum. So taking the first step, as scary as it feels, what's stopping you from taking the first step is that you fear you're already in a future where it's not working out, where I'm not attracting men who I'm attracted to, where I'm attracting AI and not real people, where I'm just not going to be attracted to them, or they're not going to be attracted to me. You're already in a future. You're actually living into a future where it's not working out, and that's what's stopping you. So what you want to ask yourself is, what would happen? And I invite everybody to ask yourself this question. What would happen if instead of waiting to feel ready, you actually took one step, just one step? I'm trying to get myself here on the chat with you, but I can't. I don't know why it's not letting me put in this comment, but what would happen if instead of waiting to feel ready, you took one small step right now? And so if you're here with me, go ahead and write that, because it is super important for you to ask yourself that question. Because if I'm already projecting a scenario I'm imagining, I'm living into, I'm expecting, I'm trying to use different language, it to not work out, I am absolutely not going to move from this spot. I will be in analysis paralysis, just thinking and thinking and thinking about getting ready maybe one day, someday. Versus taking a step, and when you know which step to take, you feel more confident, right? When you know what to do and what not to do, you just feel more confident about taking that step. So let me see, I would have some hope. It would overcome the fear, right? There's a different possible outcome when you take that small, we're going to call them micro moves. So go ahead and write micro moves on your notes, because that's what we're going to be talking about today. Because look, you did not become a high achieving, successful woman by reading about success. You did not become a high achieving, highly driven, highly successful woman by journaling about success or watching videos about success. You took steps. You might have read a book to get some ideas, and then you need to implement them, right? You might have watched a video that was inspiring, but unless you do what you saw in the video, it's just a great idea. No forward momentum, right? So you don't become successful by thinking, reading, or pondering about it. You practice. You take forward moving steps, and love works the same way. The same way. So attachment research, which is one of the things I'm very into as well, shows that confidence builds not through knowledge, not through what you know. Confidence builds through experience. So it's not about theory, it's about practicing, it's about actual implementation. So every conversation, every connection, every micro move that you make is an emotional rep. So think about at the gym, right? When you're exercising, the more reps you do, the more the muscle builds. So every micro move that you make, every conversation, every responding to someone, every smile, right? Every forward movement that you make is an emotional rep. It's a rep for your heart. So you don't become confident and then date. You date and you start to feel more confident. And when you date successfully, you feel competent. And when you feel competent, that raises your confidence. So I want to ask you a question. What's one thing that you've been waiting to feel ready for? So I want you to think about that. What's one thing that you've been waiting to feel ready for? And what might happen if you did it scared? Like if you did it scared, if you did it uncertain, if you just took a step, what's one thing that you've been waiting for? I'm sorry, what's one thing you've been waiting to feel ready for? And what might happen if you did that, even if you're scared? I don't know if anyone's dropping these questions, but it's for whatever reason, it's just not letting me. And I'm afraid to press the button that says connect to YouTube because I don't know what's going to happen. So I guess that's to join the YouTube live chat. But I just wanted to put that here. So Diane, if you can paraphrase it. What's one thing you've been waiting to feel ready for? And what might happen if you did it scared? Okay, so I see I might answer people even if they might seem fake. You might answer, look, if it's fake, have you lost anything? No. 30 seconds, 10 seconds, I don't know how long it takes you to respond to somebody, right? The more you're going to start noticing whether or not those responses feel authentic. And we actually coach women. We have women all the time asking us, how can I find out? And there's specific questions that we teach. Something to put there to see whether or not it's a real person or not. You got to know what to do and you got to know what not to do, right? Let's see. I heard that we improve habits by getting to bed earlier. I heard that we attract who we are, not what we want. It's a combination of both. See, who you are being consistently. If you're consistently being, and I'm not saying this to you, Lisa, but if you're consistently being negative, if you're consistently being afraid, if you're consistently being suspicious, you will attract people who match your fears, people who what's the word? They verify your suspicions, right? And they give you evidence for the negativity. If you are being a loving, connected, inspiring woman, wherever you are, at work, at home, when there's somebody's there, when somebody's not, then you will attract someone who's attracted, who's a match for that. So that's what it means that you attract who you are, not what you want. Now, when who you are being, who you are, and what you want align, now you're actually creating more magnetic momentum, because now for sure the person who also wants what you want and wants to be with someone who's being how you're being is going to recognize you and is going to be drawn to you energetically, even if they're not physically seeing you. It's just how energy works. Okay. So Harvard has this principle called the progress principle. And what it shows is that small wins spark motivation and joy. So when you create small wins, sometimes women just want the final thing. I want to be married. And then you don't see that doing the work to break through your limiting beliefs is a micro move. That actually asking a question and getting the answer, how do I respond to the guy who just texted me this? What do I do to energetically get ready for a date so I'm not getting panicked and talking myself out of it? So when you have the small wins and you acknowledge and celebrate them, now you're sparking motivation. And it's not even motivation, it's inspiration. It's from the inside out, inspiration and joy. When you feel inspired and joyful, what do you want? When you do something, everyone, when you do something that sparks inspiration, joy, makes you feel successful, do you want to do more of it or do you want to do less of that? When you do something and you get that win, you get that inspiration, you get that joy, you get that feeling that, wow, I did this, I accomplished this. Do you want to do more of that? Or do you want to do less of that? Let's see if I got people responding over here. Do you want to do more? Or I see more, right? You want to do more of what has you feel great. So you don't need to take a huge leap. You just need to take a micro move, a small aligned action. And I'm not skipping over the word align. It's exactly what I was just explaining. It's got to be aligned with your vision, what you want, with your beingness, who you are being when somebody's there and when somebody's not, with your values. All of those things align. If you take one small step that is aligned with those three things, with your vision, your values, and who you are being, you are going to feel that burst of success because you're going to know you're being authentically you and you're taking a step even though you're afraid. And so that's going to make you want to move forward. So an aligned micro move might be might be putting your dating profile online. It might be updating that profile. It could be saying yes to an invitation to a social event where maybe if you don't know anybody there, but you might meet new people. You might meet new men. You might meet new women that you can start going out with. So you're not feeling like you're going out alone. Responding to a request for a connection or for a conversation, an invitation, responding to an invitation for coffee or a date. All of those things, micro moves. Micro moves that spark that inspiration, that joy, that feeling of success. It's aligned with your vision. It's aligned with who you're being. It's aligned with your values. Magnetic momentum. Okay. So once movement starts, the universe hears, I'm open. Some of you actually put at the beginning, I'm ready, right? So that's the signal that you're sending out energetically. I am open. I am ready to meet someone who's a match for me, my vision, my values. And then when you, I want you to say this with me. So just repeat after me. Movement is the love language of manifestation. Movement is the love language of manifestation. You've been trying to manifest something. Movement is the love language of manifestation. So it's not just about doing, it's I'm taking that aligned action. My beingness, my vision, and my values all match, and I take that step. Because once movement starts, the universe comes and meets you halfway. Right? Some people call it the universe. I say God meets me halfway. God and the universe, God created, meets me halfway, right? So that is how you start that magnetic momentum. So let's talk about the I'm not ready yet lie. It's a trap. It's the ready trap. I'm waiting to get ready. I need to feel ready. I need to know I'm ready. All of that is your brain keeping you. So it could be, it might as well be that you've got two cement shoes, that you're wearing two cement shoes because you're not going anywhere. So the I'm not ready yet, you may not feel ready. Look, when I met my husband, Rick, I was, for those, because I see some new names here. When I met my husband, Rick, I had been widowed. I was widowed at 27, and I really believed I wasn't ever, ever, ever going to love or be loved again. I didn't just say that. I believed it. That was the future I was living into. I believed it like it was the absolute truth. Like this blouse is black. That's how strongly I believed that. Once I did my inner work, which we call the process that we teach now, my heart work, and I started to feel ready to open my heart again, I would be lying to you if I said that I was ready to be married again. I just needed to make micro moves. So I started going. I went to a Christian singles meetup. I found it on meetup.com. Not affiliated. I don't get any payment for that, but that's what I did. I felt safer in a Christian environment, and I put the words Christian and single and my city, and it came up, and I went there, and I remember what I was wearing. They were actually taking pictures that day, so I got a picture that I could put on my profile, and that was my micro move. Then I started talking to people about the fact that I felt like I might be ready to start dating. And then I started dating. Now, I wasn't dating successfully back then, but I was making my micro moves. And the day that I met my husband, I had actually, when I said I wasn't dating successfully, I had actually been stood up by somebody who I had been chasing and pursuing, trying to get him to like me, which was exhausting. And so I was not feeling my most confident. I was not feeling motivated to go out. But my friend stood for me and she said, we're going out, we're going dancing, because she knew she could get me with dancing. She had me at dancing, right? And so I was not feeling motivated at all. I was feeling very hurt, embarrassed, crushed. And that night, right before I walked in, I said to myself, I am just going to have fun. That was my micro move. Before I stepped, I'll never forget, there were people behind me, and I was not going to cross that threshold into the club. My first time ever. Talk about being scared. I'd never been in a nightclub, much less a reggae club, much less just me and my friend. Like, I didn't know anybody except her. And she knew how to dance reggae, and I thought I did. I don't know. I still think I dance pretty well, but I was not feeling confident, is my point. And I said to myself, I'm just going to have fun. I'm just going to dance, and I'm going to have fun. Micro move. Stepped over the threshold. Danced with a lot of different people. I had such a great time. My feet were killing me for 3 days afterwards. And one of the people who I made eye contact with and smiled is a man who I've now been with for 26 years. He did not ask me to dance he didn't even come up to me until I was leaving. And then when he came up to me, I mean, literally, I had my purse, everything. My friend and I were getting ready to leave. And she told me with her eyes that he was behind me. And I turned around and I introduced myself, and we started talking, micro move. And then he asked me to dance. And I told my friend, I know you have to go to school tomorrow, but can I at least dance with him once? Dance with him. many songs. She was so happy to see me happy, right? Because I was feeling so terrible about my husband dying and about being stood up. Dance with him, micro move. When she was like, okay, I gotta go. He said, can I walk you to the car? Micro move, yes. Can I get your number? Micro move, gave him my pager. Because I still wasn't like 100% sure. The next night he called me, is tomorrow too soon to see you? Not at all. I'd love to see you. Micro move. And now 26 years later, here we are, still happily married. So it's not about being ready. If you had told me, are you ready to meet your husband tonight? I would have told you, absolutely not. I'm never going out with somebody ever again because I'd gotten stood up. But perfectionism and fear disguise themselves. They just waiting to get it perfect is a disguise to hide your fear. And then it shows up as, I just need to be ready. I'm not ready often means I'm just afraid I'm going to make another mistake. So you're not lazy. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just protecting yourself. But here's another writer downer. Love doesn't grow in perfection or protection. It's very difficult for love to grow when all you're doing is protecting yourself or you're trying to be perfecting yourself. There's no room for you. There's no space for you to be you. So if it doesn't grow in if love doesn't grow in perfection and it doesn't grow in protection, where does it grow? It grows in participation. You got to be you've got to be an active. I invited you all to be an active participant in this conversation. You've got to be an active participant in your life, especially your love life, if you want to transform it. So I invite you to replace the phrase, I'll start when I'm ready, with I'm willing to take one aligned step. Or you can say, I'm willing to make one aligned micro move. Because healing and attracting and manifesting happens in motion, not in waiting. Anything that is moving forward is not on pause, including your love life, including your dating life. So love does not require perfection. It simply requires your participation. That's what love's waiting for, is for you to participate in the attraction, in the magnetism, in the manifesting of what you truly want. And when I'm talking about participation, when I say participation, I'm not talking about the doing, because I know I'm speaking to high achieving, strong women. It's not about do, pursue, lead. No, right? That's what works at work. I'm not talking about leading. I'm not talking about pursuing. I'm not talking about chasing after someone. That's not what I'm talking about when I say participation. You're participating in the attraction of the love that you want. Because feminine energy doesn't chase. Feminine energy attracts. It creates that momentum, that magnetic momentum, through being open, through taking the aligned micro steps, those committed actions. That's what has feminine energy move forward. So when you move, you activate your magnetism. And when you act, when you take a committed, aligned action, then the right man can respond. And another way to say that is when you move, the universe, all of the energy in the world that's aligned with who you are being and what you want, it moves with you. So when you move, the universe moves with you. It's like that song, when I move, you move, just like that, right? So when I move, my dreams move. When I take that micro move, that aligned action, my magnetism moves. That creates momentum. That's what has my forward movement creates energy that has me attracting. So as I move forward, I am attracting. And knowing which moves to make so that you're consistently coming from your magnetic and feminine essence, what we call your irresistible essence. That's exactly what we help women do at the Irresistible Woman Live. This is a 3-day event. It's going to happen November 14th, 15th, and 16th. And in those 3 days, we are literally taking 3 days to pull back the curtain and say, here is what works. These are the steps that are going to have you break free from the fears, break free from those limiting beliefs and the self-doubts that have you stuck and are sabotaging you. And then here are the steps, those micro moves and bigger moves. If you want to make bigger moves, here are the ones to take and here are the ones to avoid. Here's what to do and here's what not to do. Here's how to create that magnetic momentum, and here's what not to do so you're not sabotaging yourself. So over those 3 days, you don't just learn about love and how to manifest and attract the relationship of your dreams. You actually experience yourself. It is an experiential, immersive experience, right? It's an immersive event. And you experience yourself as the woman who's already in motion, the woman who's already magnetically attracting love to her. So if you haven't joined us yet, you want to make sure that you click on the link that's being dropped in all of the chats at the same time so that you can join us. Because right now this link has a special price that is not on the actual Irresistible Woman Live page. Give yourself this gift. Allow yourself to take that micro move. That is probably the best micro move you can take right now, because you're not going to have to figure it out on your own, regardless of how many books you've read, videos you've watched, how many TikTok reels or Instagram reels you have saved in your accounts. This is about real coaching, real a proven and tested process that has had hundreds of women around the world attract, meet, and marry the right man. Not just any man, the right man. So you don't just learn about love. You don't just learn about dating. You actually experience yourself as that irresistible woman who's magnetically attracting love to her. Because when you think about it this way, you've never built anything meaningful in your life by waiting for the perfect moment or waiting for things to just happen. Not your career, not your personal growth, not any of the breakthroughs that you've had in your life. And love is no different. Love isn't waiting for you to be perfect. It's waiting for you to participate. One micro move, one smile, one message, one yes, one choice to join us at the Irresistible Woman Live, one decision to show up can open the door to everything that you have prayed for, everything that you envision, everything that you desire, and everything that you pray for. So let today be the day that you stop waiting, and have it be the day you start moving intentionally, not from pressure, not from your past, but from power, from your personal power. So if you're ready to create that magnetic momentum in your love life, join us at the Irresistible Woman Live. Take that micro move, click on the link, and then you know what? Share it. Share it with another woman who, as you've been sitting here today, you're like, oh my God, I cannot wait to tell her about this. I can't wait to share what I learned about today. She wants love in her life as much as I do. And then you come together. Guess what happens when two moving objects are moving forward? You double the momentum. You amplify, you multiply the forward movement. When you're moving with someone in your life, especially somebody who you care about and you trust as she trusts you, you are literally multiplying that magnetic momentum for both of you so that you can both be happy. All right, so go ahead and click on that link. Join us at the Irresistible Woman Live. It is where powerful, highly driven, high achieving women come to reignite their magnetism, to release old patterns, and to open their hearts to real and extraordinary love. remember, your dreams, they don't meet you in the waiting. The love you want isn't going to meet you in the waiting. It meets you in your motion. So take that step, make that micro move, because love is already moving towards you. And with that, I want to say good night. Thank you for being here. And until our hearts meet again, always remember that you are loved. Goodbye for now.